I did, however, have the AI summary going automatically.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know
Welcome
what
back.
happened.
We don't
I
know
don't
where we lost you, but
you were speaking to Hey Cheryl. Um you were speaking to you said a lot. Jesus. All that trying to get back logged in. Oh gosh. I was there when you said that it wasn't going to take that long, and then you were going into just the different scenarios. So I guess John, you could pick it back up. Like, I heard half of what you said, and then the call just dropped. I don't know, my laptop is acting crazy.
so what I was saying was that so like let's say you come in with us. We make you a stock offer, so you have a vested interest in NLGT. Then you
Hmm.
develop your own ideas as well through NLGT, increasing the value of NLGT, but also getting NLGT's support to make your own venture more valuable. I guess
Gotcha.
that's a high level, very short um, thing that I rambled on a lot more about before. And
That was very close and tight, and I'll just cut in for a moment to
you take over.
no, thank you, and then jump in as you see fit, John. You know how we do it. And hi, Cheryl. Always a pleasure. I think it's good to speak directly to some of the wants, desires, needs, and mandatory requirements that have been vocalized so far. And I heard it more than John did directly. Here's what I heard. I heard that we need to make sure that we don't lose brand consistency, that
Hmm.
that it stays, our thing stays the main thing, right? you know and I heard that. I understand that. So this is an example and an illustration of how that is manifested with other partners and very impactful contributors to what we're doing, even on a broader scale, right? So when we talk
Yes.
about Heartbeat and Dakar as an example, you see how they fit in the next level world as far as
Hmm.
technology solutions are concerned, as far as partnership solutions are concerned. So this tech, we're building technology for Heartbeat and Dakar. As far as partnership is concerned, Kevin has an equity agreement with Next Level Global Technologies. As far as partnership is concerned, I am a board member of his Dakar Foundation. You see, so there are, many different threads that are woven together,
Gotcha.
in the way that we structure ourselves with one another. And that's kind of what John is
Speaking to.
elaborating on a little bit more,
Hmm.
because that's more over his strong suit, although I can represent it and take it down the field as well, and get a few yards. But
So you guys essentially all of your companies are integrated at some level.
that's right.
Okay.
And that's the model, and that's
Hmm.
the framework of some of the strategic organizational structure.
And they're not integrated in the sense that, for instance, like youngforever.com is somehow integrated into Dakar or Heartbeat. It's that NLGT supports the growth of small medium businesses and public and private enterprises effectively. So they're integrated into NLGT, but not necessarily each other.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
NLGT is effectively the glue that holds everything to each other or to itself, because it's a technology provider. Next level, we're focusing three different areas as a company, and that is a software as a service, business consulting, and business incubation services. So at the end of the day, we have our own software, okay, and we can consult with companies, small, medium, and even large companies, depending on what the opportunity is. But we can offer them consulting services, and that could include our software, or it could include the utilization of third-party softwares, or some softwares, or projects or companies that require a more enterprise grade solution than our in-house software. Our in-house software is designed for small and medium-sized businesses, and is strategic as to have them. I won't use simplify, because nothing is simple when it comes down to building something in technology to run an operation. But it does simplify in the sense of, you don't need all these different accounts and linking them together, because our suite does the functionality of all of them combined, and you just set it all up in one platform. So it's designed for small and medium sized businesses. It's political, or it's economically um, charged to make positive impact, because we all know that having more small and medium businesses is a good economic driving factor. And a lot of this is in and around the Jobs Act. The Jobs Act, which was created to help that, but it's underutilized and it's not making an impact. So we're saying, with technology, if more small and medium-sized businesses had a streamlined technology solution, they can live and thrive better, and we could actually create opportunity for more small and medium-sized businesses to live and thrive more. So I'm saying that to just lay out the what, as far as we as Next Level Global Technologies, in those three facets, from software as a service, business consulting, and full business incubation. That's the model from that highest altitude.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now let's talk about, oh wait, what is this? All in one. Oh, okay, that's what you were just speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just reading.
A lot of functionality. I think it's good to get it in, and you see the different platforms that it replaces, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And it's just blowing your mind. I mean, I'm just showing you, just to show you how jam-packed the features and functionalities are within this platform. So we've effectively used BizSuite, and I'll just further the point here, it's real important. We've effectively used BizSuite to build and run our own platform, our own company for NLGT. So the NLGT app, Next Level Global Technologies app, is a web and mobile application that is built using our BizSuite software. Any company we can sell that BizSuite software to, and their logo goes up here. We customize the color scheme and the look and feel for their company's brand, and maintain that consistency across the board for all of those features. This is an admin account, so it has every single feature right here in this left side navigation menu that you saw just in the slides here, as far as what it does. And that includes, so since we use BizSuite to create our NLGT app, and we've partnered with folks, we're building out applications within the NLGT app to start, for those who don't have budget, when we're bootstrapping and we're partnering with organizations. That's why the Heartbeat Dakar apprenticeship program is built in the Next Level platform. But everything we build inside of the Next Level platform can, and ultimately will, be broken out into its own branded platform. And since it's already built, that process is a little more simple. Again, nothing is very simple, but again, it's simpler than it would have been if you were doing it all from scratch. So it's like pre-development. So that's kind of our workflow. That's kind of our model. And Kevin is just one example. We have other partners and projects that we can point to that illustrate or demonstrate how we do that. But so if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to circle back to the point that I was making as it related to the courses and the high touch and the low touch. Okay. So I was talking about low touch means 24/7, log into the platform, have access to the course, and strategically lay out the course content and curriculum to guide people through accordingly, right? Do this, do that. This is why this is important. And you lay that out. Now, the higher touch can be physical or virtual meetings or hybrids. So now, if you're doing a weekly Zoom or a monthly Zoom for the people who are enrolled in that course, then you can just structure how you're going to run that meeting or that show. Okay, here we go. There's a linkage to the OTT platform, because that's what you're talking about when you talk about a show like Bravo or a network or a channel. That's OTT content and streaming media, right? So the point is, and you can run that meeting or that show in a certain format. For example, we open it up, you talk about the company, you talk about the course in general with a short presentation, and then maybe each show or each week you cover one of the modules or a lesson specifically for that show, and then you have a segment where you open it up for Q&A for the folks who are on it and want to have some direct questions or some direct assistance. And when it's structured that way, when you're doing Q&A, it's easy to jump around and cherry pick for each participant. Oh, I'm on module 5, lesson 2, and I'm kind of thinking this and I'm kind of wondering that. You can speak to them to where they are. you know, even pull them up in the platform and look up what data we have on them and so on and so forth. So I'm just giving some explanation to the architecture and the way that we run and operate programs. And since I have that already pulled up, it's good to know that we have a development methodology that we run in this model of high touch and low touch. And our development methodology was built on top of the learning methodology that I was trained on in my work with Lincoln Method. Okay, Lincoln Method has a learning methodology, and Lincoln Method is the company out of Finland. I know I talked a little bit to Cheryl about that. Lincoln Method is a company out of Finland. It's a learning methodology developed by Dr. Salim. He graduated from Stanford. He's a neurologist. And his story was that he got this big research grant right after graduating. And he turned around and hired all his professors to come work for him and conduct this, neuroscience research. And after that, he built and exited 2 companies, technology companies. So I've always learned to, work with people who've been where you want to go and have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish and so on and so forth. So I've, studied with him and been trained in a few different areas with what he's doing. And then I actually was offered an opportunity to join their team as the director of impact and inclusion. And I could talk about that later. The whole point that I'm making here is he has a really great learning methodology. And I analyzed what was happening in our space as it related to the Jobs Act, as it related to impact and all of that. And it came up with a development methodology, which includes, the format and really what I learned with Salim as far as his learning methodology. So this development methodology includes education, training, coaching, and mentoring in that exact order. And folks come in and so we create development programs through this model. A development program consists of courses and projects. So you learn what to do, how to do it, and why it's important to do it in the courses. And then you actually do it consistently over time. So you apply that knowledge that you learn and do it consistently over time through the projects. This is part of an ongoing study of human behavior and habit formation, and tied into a lot of the neuroscience and the habits study from James Clear's Atomic Habits. But the point is, that's the methodology of the training program, the development program. And again, low touch and high touch. So you have the courses, you do have the projects when we set them up, and then we do monthly Zoom meetings. So the last thing that I'm going to say about your OTT thing before I open it up or pass it back to John, depending on where the meeting takes us after this, is that, we're in that space as well. And there's a few partners or people who have their own channels or have their own networks or have either just content that's going on someone's channel on a network, right? So there's a variety of people who are participating in that content producing and streaming and consuming space. What our model is a 2 app model. So there's the OTT app and then there's the Biz Suite app. Here's the difference. The OTT app is just streaming content. This is where people go and watch it, like you said, like Netflix or like Bravo. So there's no data collection. So we run both at the same time. The OTT for content consumption, and the Biz Suite app for business and organization management. So imagine this: there's a show on the network, and in that show, there are calls to action to create a free account and download the app or join the program and follow along in your app. So now what happens is the OTT content is driving people to the Biz Suite app where you're collecting them in your database in a more interactive way that creates more value, so on and so forth. And then it feeds back and forth because when they're in your development programs, you're going to be, informing them about content that's being streamed on the OTT platform. In fact, you could even make it an assignment to watch something that's put on that OTT platform, and then the next assignment would be to provide feedback. So you can survey people, so on and so forth. And then you do that from the Biz Suite app. So I know I'm venturing on and on and on, but since you're laying out so much and since we're laying out so much, I thought it'd be nice for us to have some touch points and some linkages of connectivity with some of these great, not just ideas, but things that we're all embarking on. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I'm following right along. I want to give Cheryl the opportunity to, because she came in um a little late. I want to give her the opportunity to see if she has any questions thus far or anything she wants to ask. Is she there? Cheryl, are you there?
Question.
You're breaking up,
Can
Cheryl.
you hear? Must be a bad connection. I'll have to email you my questions.
Can you type it in the chat if we because we may be able to address it if you can hear us. You were just a little spotty.
But okay, so while she's doing that, no, I like everything that, you were saying. I guess my question would be how would you want to, I guess, integrate me into your fold? Like what does that look like from your end?
Well, and John, you can jump back in here, but based on John and I both have liked you from the beginning. We of course, right? So, but one of the things that poked out, and you've said it many times over again, and I'm not going to get it right. You are the chief operations extraordinaire, or I forgot what it was. It was something that had to do with being an operations officer or running operations, right?
Yes.
But there was a way that you said it, and I'm messing it up, but it was something like the best operations officer in the world. It was something that was making a statement, and I just loved it, and it stuck with me, the essence of it, although I can't rearticulate it. But yeah, so something in terms of operations, if you see where we're going on the broad scale and would like to participate at that level, then we would be looking at something operations related. John, did you have feedback?
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But I can wait, unless you want me to go right now.
Otherwise,
Don't
I'll
jump
just
at
keep
it. Don't
going
all
because I
jump at
because
it
I
at
could go.
once.
Okay. So I wanted to say first that like that was beautiful presentation. Shane,
Yes.
I'm really glad that you recorded it,
Mm-hmm. So
because
you
we
can
can,
see it.
yeah, we can use parts of that for another presentation, like a module. So Shane is like, well, he's amazingly great at what he was presenting right there, and he's done a massive amount of work to get the system to this point. And this is all his work. What I really do as director of business development and also the CFO is I'm really into revenue models, like really tangible, real world revenue models. And so I'm working through how do we have it to where we make money doing this, and how can we help the participants make money? Um, because money is the main currency that tends to allow for growth in the world of business in America. So I'm thinking about the revenue models, and business models, and we have quite a few very robust revenue models and business models, and a lot of these components within the system, which are in and as of themselves profit centers that can become very valuable. And so, what I see as a real potential with you, very much so, is the idea that aside from whatever specific things you have that you'd like to develop through this platform, is that you could look at what we're doing on a high altitude level and figure out how could you maybe help them gain traction. So we have systems like, surprisingly, while Gerald and them came up with a thing called Matrix Capital, I had actually come up with a system when I was doing the system for the Taiwanese Akamel 7 project, the $6 billion project here in Phoenix. I came up with Metrics Capital. Metrics Capital is not just about money as capital, but information as capital. And we have we're developing systems where the information tracking about workforce training and other things is capital in itself, but also there's the capital of money capital, and also the capital of knowing how to get the money is capital. And so we have Metrics Capital, which actually is a brand that we can trademark. I own the domains for it.
I want
And
to laugh at that comment because I know what you're talking about.
yeah, well, I mean, they can't do
We,
Matrix
we
Capital.
try,
It's been in
tried to
use for
tell them.
30 years.
Tried to tell them.
No, I know, I know. I thought it was funny. I just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, so Metrics Capital, though, is the idea that the new capital is information, but also money is still capital. So it's a very interesting brand, and it's one of the other profit centers we're developing through NLGT. We also have Way Beyond AI, which we're developing with Danny Rittman, which is a proprietary AI system to support purpose-driven stuff. And so we have all these niche things, and we also are going out to raise capital for the entire network so we can all get paid to do this work. So we have a financial deck, and you may be able to help forward presentations for both work opportunities and clients within our that can use our system, but also to in the process of raising money. Because let's face it, a gorgeous woman like you, as smart as you are, you gain traction and can open a lot of doors better than either Shane or I can.
I
Certainly
see. I
better than
see.
me. Shane's a lot prettier than I am.
Well, no, I still second that. She's opening up more doors than me. Come on now.
Yeah, and the way you handle yourself, the level of intelligence and cohesive understanding you bring when you communicate, these are big, huge pluses. You're like a special forces team in yourself. And Cheryl also, has great aptitude, and I certainly could see how we could end up, having $1 million plus in the bank and paying ourselves to continue developing this company real, real soon. We actually have the deck; it's ready to go right now. We just,
Can you share that with us?
absolutely.
Yes, and let's go ahead and pass it back to Cheryl too, and get
Shane,
whatever.
you want to put
Oh
that
yeah,
in the chat, or you've got the latest
share.
version of that deck, right?
Yes, I do.
Or do you want me? Either one of us. Why don't you put it in the chat?
All right, cool. I got you.
Can you all hear me now?
Much
Oh, there
better.
she
Yeah.
is,
Hey,
Dr.
Shane, also
C.
put that in as a PowerPoint and a PDF.
All right, cool.
There's Dr. C. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Hey,
Dr.
hey,
C.
Cheryl.
So I just heard a couple of things, like you have a software as a service. I'm not for sure of what it does, but have you ever considered like partnering with like a Verizon or AT&T?
Well,
We have a group called Premier Business Development, and through them, we actually have alliances with almost every major technology company you can imagine. AT&T, T-Mobile,
Okay.
Microsoft, all this thing, and we can represent them to our clients and get commissions. If, for instance, we could set up an entire cellular network for someone, or we could set up an internet for 1,000 unit apartment complex, or we can provide certain software and technology services from like IBM to, so we have this alliance, and they also are seeking ways to provide our smaller businesses in our platform to their clientele. So that's just one of the things, but also there's alliances with LinkedIn and IBM and Oracle and Microsoft that are in conjunction like with stuff we're doing with like Kevin Clark and Danny Rittman right now is designing the new quantum AI chip for Dell. He's our AI guy. He's like the lead engineer guy with that project to design a new quantum AI chip. And so,
So,
yeah, we have a lot of alliances here that we can. But one of the AI people that we know who's aligned also with Dakar is a high level with Google AI and is the correspondence on ethical AI for the White House.
so Cheryl, what kind of partnerships were you referring to?
like,
You know,
so you can actually be like a subcontractor on some of these like $36 million contracts and stuff I'm working on with Verizon. So they have like a partner program, and they have a list of partner organizations when they get specific contracts, and if what you offer meets the requirement that they need, and then like we can reach out to you all to see what would that look like, and then you could give us your pricing. So on what that looks like, and we take your pricing, and then of course we at Verizon would mark it up so we can make some money too. But essentially, you would be making money, and so like they have like a 37% goal on a lot of the major contracts with the Department of Defense, because that's what I mainly work on in designing telecommunication frameworks. So that's why I was asking. I just heard you had SAS, and I was just looking at another opportunity for you all to see how you could generate revenue.
well, I
Yeah.
think that's a great opportunity, especially if we can, you know, follow the work backwards strategy of understanding what points of opportunity are there and seeing,
Yeah.
do we
That's what
fit
I would
that?
need to know. Uh-huh. That's what
Uh-huh.
I just heard. So, because I know we do have that, and I know there are some small businesses that we work with. We talked to some of their CEOs. I was actually working with a couple of them on this customs and immigrations back end system. And so, then they're a small business as well. So anytime I hear some type of technology that I think Verizon could potentially use on some of these multi-million dollar contracts, I like to, see if there's a way to get you in the partnership program at Verizon. And then after we get done with Multimania, because I'm not going to hijack this, I would like to
No,
circle
no,
back.
Cheryl. I
Yeah.
always, when I tell people to like get on calls or I tell people I connect people, it's because I didn't already thought in my head. So that was another reason, but you already jumped at it. So I don't even have to worry about Cheryl. Like Cheryl gonna jump in there because she listened to keywords like how I listen to keywords and start connecting dots. So this was the reason why, one of the reasons why I wanted her to join. And also she's gonna, help me with mental mania. So I
Yeah,
knew it all
definitely
made
That
gonna.
was a,
sense.
a
And then
brilliant,
I heard you
brilliant
all.
connection. Brilliant. Thank you.
Heard you all develop courses. I think that's what I was hearing. Is that correct?
That is correct. We not only
Okay.
develop courses, but we house
Okay.
them in our software solution so that way they can be
Oh,
distributed.
Okay. So is your
okay, wait,
platform
hold on,
sort of like a
Cheryl.
school? Huh?
Cheryl, Shane, you or John have to explain to her who
No, no.
Kevin is and what Kevin does so she understands like the forward, the car and heartbeat.
Oh no. So I kind of heard some of that while I was on. So I
Oh,
don't
okay,
want
you
to miss
did.
anything.
Okay.
I have to go back because I can listen to the video, the recording. But
Okay.
for for me, because I see, so is your platform using something like a school, like that platform called School? Is yours similar to that, where you house
It
the courses?
correct. It's similar
Okay,
to that. We have our own platform,
you have okay.
which means that either we can develop courses and pull people into our platform that's
Uh-huh.
branded and give them access to the courses, whether for free, whether it's being charged, all those different options. We can do that, or we can sell our software to another company, help them configure their brand into the software, and if they already have their coursework, help them upload it into their newly branded platform that they purchased from us, software as a service, and they run
Okay.
it through their own platform. So this is an
Oh,
example on the screen of us doing that for Dakar and Heartbeat in our own platform because we're partnering with them. They haven't purchased the software as a service just yet, but the plans are to add that in a line item in some future grants. And once the capital is there, whatever we've built inside of the next level branded platform can be broken out into their independent branded platform because we sell the software as a service. And that software is very inclusive. It has every single feature you can think of, including LMS learning. You see, LMS learning is one of many features in the suite, or also known as a stack in the software. So you can literally run your entire business for the most part. Let's just say 90%, could be ran through this one subscription based software that we offer.
okay. So yeah, I was looking at it for me for my one of my companies,
Mm-hmm.
CK Management Consulting Group, because I show how small to medium sized businesses how to get in the government space. So from the cradle to the grave, from certifications to actually writing proposals for contracts, and do grant writing and stuff like that. So it's a lot of one-on-one right now, but a lot of my clients have been asking for courses. I don't have that. And so you piqued my interest there. I do. I think I do all right with the clients that I have, the prices that I charge, and stuff like that. So as far as generating revenue, I don't see that being an issue from that standpoint. I was just trying to figure out what does that look like, and then even if like some of your clients who are not in the government space but would like to get government contracts, then that is something we could offer them
Sure,
as well.
I think that's beautiful. And I always preach about models and framework. Here's the beautiful thing about a model and framework. It applies all the way across the board. We just applied it to Mental Mania. Now let's apply it to your government contract preparation and execution value proposition that you're offering. We get to do the same thing. We get to take all that knowledge, build it out in the LMS and in the platform, so that way we can offer prospects and clients an opportunity to create their own account and come inside the portal and access those courses 24/7 at their own pace. And in addition to that, low touch, you can also have high touch options, whether they can schedule one-on-ones or whether they come onto the group Zoom once a month, twice a month, once a week, whatever the haps may be, where you're doing, again, you're splitting your time between booking some one-on-ones, you're splitting your time between the group sessions, and the only time that you're going one-on-one or group session with someone is when they've typically come in and done some of the groundwork through the courses that are already laid out in the platform and got some preliminary information from you on the front end before exhausting your time, directly. So
So
just
we can go back to mental mania. I just wanted to put that on the list.
that's great, absolutely. And then as we go back to mental mania, know that the same
We're
thing
gonna
that
tie
we
all this in. We're gonna tie
that's
in CK. We're gonna tie
yep,
in everybody. This is the whole purpose of why, like, I know what I'm doing when I'm connecting.
exactly. And
So
sure and
we're
sure
gonna tie in all of this. Cheryl's a part of Mental Mania. Now you guys will be a part of Mental Mania, and then CK Management. I help her with stuff on that side sometimes too. So I mean, look, it's all one big happy family. We just need to get it all structured out and get going on it.
yep. And basically just to reiterate one of the biggest points of what we're saying in that the strategy of all coming together like that is that if, and rather better stated, since Next Level is the technology provider that is going to help build these operating systems, this is what we're saying when we say all of us are going to have equity in this company, and we're going to use the software to build all these different operations that are being ran and trackable, for their own purposes, while also giving us financial data that's helping the stock valuation go up and position us for an exit. We can exit this tech and keep doing all this tech company and keep doing everything else that we're doing in all of our other companies.
Yes, absolutely. So, Shane and John, what I know you spoke about the operations, and all of that great stuff that you wanted me to do. I'm sure you can make use of Cheryl and definitely, leverage each other's situations. Where what is the next course of action to establish and get this going? Are there fees, including, like, what does this all look like to get it going?
Well, Shane, you want me to run on that?
Yeah, please, and I'll jump in.
Okay, so we'll make you an equity offer of shares and stock that is valued initially at something like, I don't know, something over like $30,000, based on our current valuation, but it's not liquid yet. That will be just a start. That would be just to align you and bring you into the fold, both you, however this shakes out in structure, and to appoint, like, you as a one of our key, um, you know, directors of something, or whether it's operations, or I see what you do as operations, but also as being like, um, uh, having a functionality also that's kind of like sales or acquiring new business and that kind of thing, as well as just sheer operations, because of the introductions and this kind of thing. So then there would be an additional incentive program, so that anything that happens that produces results will up your ante, up your ante, up your ante each step of the way, that you'll get more, but we'll give you something initially, and then put you as one of the team members, and then we'll get to strategizing how to optimize your development of what you're already working on. And for instance, I'm doing consulting work right now, but I'm doing the consulting work through an entity I have, so that on paper, the revenue is going through NLGT. Now, I'm not actually losing any money, but I'm bringing the revenue through NLGT so that NLGT can account for its revenue. And we get a multiplier effect on the valuation. Likewise, Shane is contributing time in my project, and I'm contributing time in his project, and we're paying each other as high-level consultants. However, because it equals out, we don't actually have to write checks. but that revenue goes through the company, increasing the valuation multiplier. And so there's these various ways that we can do this, but we can start off by giving you this equity for your enrollment with your, it's not really, it's for coming on as a high level player within our field, increasing our intellectual capital, increasing our capacity and our perceptual value to the market. And then there'll be a specific incentives for any kind of results. That's all I had to say there.
Shane, did you want to did you have anything that you needed to say as well?
Well, no, I mean, if I did, I would just be.
And then we're including Cheryl in this offer as well, correct?
Oh yes, yeah, and I think I would just be echoing what John is saying, and I would say it in my own words by saying that I feel like this structure is a solution that's not oftentimes prepared in the marketplace, and that's why there's been so much build up and crash out. Everybody's you know talking and ideating and looking at potential, but it never realizes itself. And in some cases, the the environments are breeding even contention because of it. I feel like this structure is the opposite of that we've seen and experienced, because it affords the opportunity to get in where you fit in, not only initially at the entry point, but to continue that essence of value exchange and reciprocation of getting in where you fit in as you go. You see? So it's like a meritocracy of sorts, but it's structured well enough to have that entry point and have the environment to chart the pathway as you go. And I think that's important across the board, not just for what we're doing right now, but a means of operating together more collaboratively and in unison. And it's because of corporate structure, it's because of stock. I believe the Jobs Act opened up opportunity for us to operate more like this, and we're not utilizing it. But again, that's my soapbox. That's part of the stuff that I'll be, harping on. But yeah, so that's my only feedback. And yes, it definitely applies to Cheryl and yourself, as well as any and other strategic partner and value added contributor who continues to come along with us as we go.
Although that, because you're coming in earlier, you're going to have a higher initial value to us. The early players are going to be receiving more than later players.
And Cheryl, I appreciate your politeness. I see your hand raised. Feel
Go
free
ahead,
to jump
Cheryl.
in.
Oh, yes. Have you all ever applied or sent a proposal in under the SBIR program with the government for revenue? And that's like if you're in development of something, and to see if they use it. They have it all the time where you could just send a proposal on something that you're currently developing or that you have. And it might meet they need because they have it out on the web. And then they give you a budget to finish what they call a prototype. I was actually involved in one of those where I had a budget of 2 million and I gave each company 1 million to, develop something that we needed. And we still ended up not choosing neither one of them. But at the end of the day, each company got $1 million.
Wow. Cheryl, we
So
have not
have you
done.
ever?
Yeah, we have not done any of that.
Okay.
And I think it's interesting because I mean, like my direct response to it, and of course John can respond from his purview, but my direct response is, Cheryl, you be having so many goodies, like these are great opportunities. They're government related. They're international in scope and scale. Like you are, that lady, right? And it's so cool. So this is why, it's my hope that you really want to take up an equity position in collaboration with us, because what we're saying is the equity that you take would incentivize your time, effort, and energy, along with mine and John and everybody else's time, effort, and energy, fleshing out those opportunities that you have for us to really
Okay.
identify what they are and chart the plan to work backwards to see which ones are worth us pursuing, further and
Yeah,
all the way.
once I get a better understanding of all the services and offerings, and then we could definitely, I can send you some stuff. Say, hey, you guys, whenever you get a chance, take a look and see if this is something worth the time to put a proposal together and say, hey, put us in the running. Let's do a white paper and see if they choose us. I mean, it's nothing to put it in, but it's everything when you get $1 million, and then and then if you're not chosen, you still had $1 million to further your project along. So those are just some of the opportunities, and it's not really like a whole competing, but we did it like a white paper. So it was something very simple. We asked for a white paper, and then they did some things, and we had an evaluation, and then we scored them according to demos and some other stuff, and then it got down to the last two, and then those are the two that was chosen, and we split the 2 million. And so it's just as simple as that. Um, but that was coming out of the Army. So some other services might do a little different. I know they do have meetings at different bases and stuff required. So maybe one, depending on where everybody is at, I can look and see where some of those meetings will start taking place. I know the Navy has one, if we haven't already missed it, coming up in Norfolk, Virginia, where they're going to be talking about they're looking for companies to be able to do some AI, some cybersecurity, and it was about 10 other things, but it's all centered around technology. Um, and they're looking to do something similar to there. So when I just heard revenue, I was wondering. And then there are some grants and stuff. I heard something about other countries, depending on what countries, if you're in those countries. I know there are some. I have a couple of clients. I'm working on some grants in Nigeria for them, for the hospital and an education center. So I just would need to understand that too. Moving forward, not all today, but just give you an idea.
Well, that's so amazing. And I want to apologize, Cheryl, that I wasn't acknowledging you more. I didn't know you were going to be on this call. And while I've been on
Sure.
a few calls with you, I haven't ever really come to know you very well or understand very well exactly what you do. I know you're really high level. I just am not that familiar. And had I known you were going to be on the call, I would have researched it a little bit.
No, it's okay.
No,
I
no,
plugged her in
I'm
at the
not like
last
that.
minute.
Mm-mm. No,
I
yeah. So
plugged,
yeah,
yeah, I plugged her in I told her about it, but I plugged her in at the last minute. I didn't tell
yeah,
Shane. I just connected the dots and I was like, I need to
yeah,
tell Cheryl to join. So it's only because of the
Excellent.
stuff you guys started talking about. And I was like, Cheryl, yeah, already know she need to be a part of this. So you're welcome and
yeah.
you're welcome.
No,
Well,
And
I
thank
would
you and
love to
thank you.
learn more about you. And if there's any links you can share in the chat or anything, I'd love to, understand who you are a little bit better.
yeah, sure. I'm driving now, but I can LaQuia, if you want to share some stuff. But I did 28 years in the military, and I came out of the Pentagon, and so I did contracts and stuff on that end. And I actually wrote the proposals that went out for companies to bid on. I created the evaluation criteria. I set up the technical review boards and things of that nature. So I have the inside knowledge. I'm certified in different things, of course, contracting officer representative. So I just brought a lot of my skills from with inside the government and brought them outside to help small businesses get inside. Because when I was there, I didn't see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked on I served with NATO for 5 years. I am certified in like logistics and supply chain. So I was a military representative on NATO with 28 other nations, and we worked to streamline processes. I've wrote processes and procedures for the Department of the Army that is still being utilized today. I am a current United Nations Peace Ambassador. So I just have my hands in a little bit of everything here. And I'm also a solutions architect at corporate headquarters at Verizon. That's why I know the ins and out. And I develop telecommunication framework for the Department of Defense.
Well, I'm honored. You're amazing.
Woo! Come on now.
I'm sending them stuff in our group chat, Cheryl. Because
Yeah. So I
I
just did a
can't
little
share
stuff.
on I can't share on the chat for some reason, so I'm sending it in the text message in our group chat. Are you guys receiving the stuff I sent?
I saw something coming over. Let's see. Yes, I do. I see
Okay.
all of that. And then just as a quick question, I pretty much know the answer to this, so I'll say it as a statement. LaQuia, you and Cheryl both use WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll put together a group chat on WhatsApp, and I think that'll be very helpful for our communication.
And I'm not seeing what was supposedly came across. I see the financial deck and I see amen, amen, but I'm not seeing any
Oh,
other.
you're in the chat. She dropped it in our text messages.
Yeah, in the text
Oh, okay,
messages with
okay.
the Zoom link.
Super. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
That's my girl.
Wow,
So,
super.
yeah, no, I plug accordingly, when I feel, the connection will be strong. I already know in my head what can generate on the other end of the rainbow. So when you started saying certain things, I was like, Cheryl, where are you? Like, come,
And she
come.
did. Oh, like I'm coming.
So, I think it would be, now how, I guess my question, we're probably not going to get all this in one Zoom meeting, but what does that look like as far as joining don't let me get it wrong. Is it NGLT? NLGT?
There you go, NLGT. So just
N
remember next level, which will help you remember NL, and
yes,
Global Technologies GT. So NLGT.
GT. Okay, so what does that look like as far as, because I want Cheryl to, have her CK management and consulting, and then of course, I don't know if I would do the QC network or Mental Mania. I guess I could do both if I chose to. But what does that like look like as far as like the setup?
So John's gonna help us draft the offer that he was mentioning, and we'll likely send you the draft of that offer in the WhatsApp group chat to just get your, get a soft commitment from reviewing. Once you do, then I'll populate that agreement in the NLGT app and onboard you through the platform for you to read and e-sign that agreement through the platform. And you'll be set up at the entry level based on that agreement. And again, that agreement is going to open up opportunity for upside potential and for us to do more agreements personally and through whatever entities you may have if we structure more than one contract B2B moving forward as well.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm sure I'll have 1,000 more questions,
Yeah,
Yes.
I
as
could tell
time
you that
goes, but
I'm gonna up the offer as well because you're worth more than what I was saying before, for sure. And so we'll be more generous than what I initially stated for sure.
no worries, no worries. We're always open to great potential and opportunity. So I'm looking forward to everything. Cheryl, did you have anything that you needed to add right now? They're going to get us the information and send it to us, and then we can kind of take it from there. And then I'll put us all in an email so you guys have Cheryl's email as well.
The only thing I have, did you all say you were part of Matrix Capital?
No, okay. They had Matrix Capital. It was sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing, which they don't
Okay.
own. Another company. We have Metrics Capital.
Okay.
Metrics, which we do own. And
Okay.
so Metrics is not in competition. It's a brand. And Metrics Capital is both money capital and information capital. But
Okay.
Metrics was the brand I was working on when they came up with Matrix. When I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's weird. But also I researched that and I sent to them that
Oh
that
yeah, I remember.
Metrics as Matrix Capital has been in use for over 30 years. They can't
Yeah.
use it.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so, so yeah. And then again, my response is that, yeah, we've been in and out of that group. And that's what John is explaining. So the answer is no, because we're not contracted and we're not engaging in any real business with them, but we've been in and out of the group and have experienced, just as you've seen, we were in it around some of the same things that you experienced too. So yes, that's the
Okay.
answer.
Okay. Thank
Now
you. That's all I had.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, we wanted to help them. We offered a lot of help, but the help just wasn't compatible for whatever reasons. It wasn't compatible. It just didn't fit. They wasn't ready for it. Whatever, it's just so that's kind of the gist. But Cheryl, I do have one other thing that I want to mention to you, and I know we'll follow up on it since you're in the corporate office of Verizon. One of the things that we've done is first of all, a part of our model is leverage and aggregation. So we aggregate existing resources and we leverage them by integrating them into our platform with our current architecture of our operating system. So the Verizon edX, the Verizon Skills Forward program in partnership with edX is an existing resource that we have integrated. So how do we integrate it? Well, we created a course for it. The course introduces the participant to the Verizon Skills Forward opportunity, partnered with
Mhm.
edX, which is
Yeah.
free. And they put enough money in the caddy, basically, to cover 50,000 people to get
Okay.
that free sponsorship, right? Now, I don't know
Mhm.
where they are in that process, but I know what my grand plan is to drive traffic to that resource and quantify how much of that 50,000 is ours, be it 10,000, 20,000, whatever the amount is. We get to show Verizon that we are the ones who represented that amount of utilization. So we create it as a course, we introduce them to it, and we make assignments for them to register, create
Mhm.
their account with Verizon edX, and choose which course that they're going to engage in through the free program and report back to us in our system what course and their progress along the way. That's how we integrate it in essence.
Okay.
I'm sharing that with you just to kind of show you some of the touch points that may or may not have value as we communicate with Verizon Corporate. So, for example, the grand vision of this is to utilize and maximize whatever was there and negotiate how to continue it moving forward, because we have impact data and we have all the other things that demonstrate that is worthy for another allotment, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
And in this case, it will put us in a powerful position to not only allocate another allotment, but for that allotment to contribute to our financial bottom line for our platform too, because the cost that they're paying for right now is only covering edX's cost and the other educational institutions that are onboarded into their platform. So you understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying here, as far as the
Yep.
the the, the progression and the strategy
Yep.
to to use what's already there to put us in a powerful position to get more of what's already there and more on top of that, more that's allocated because we have a system within the system, or we put their system within our system. Hope that makes sense.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
so is the Verizon Skills Forward program part of the department, or is it in the wheelhouse or scope or scale of the departments that you rendezvous with?
So I can look in the I actually, well, probably not because I can't get on my mobile hotspot is not working because I do have my Verizon computer in the car with me. But what
Oh,
I can do, if does it have like a Verizon link to it?
oh yeah. So
So if you send me the Verizon link, I'll send it out to the team and just be like, hey, have any of y'all checked out this? I think it's some good training in here.
yep,
And then I can get people to go in there and train.
yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you send me the link, I will send it out to my teams.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me that. Sure will.
Okay. Okay.
Doing a group chat for us right now.
Nice.
Uh, so if you text it to me though, because if you
You want me to text or email it? I think she went offline for a moment.
Yeah, so just as another point, you see Verizon, partnered with edX to offer tuition-free technical and professional pathways to accelerate skill building for in-demand tech careers. So the point is, the fact that we integrated this into our platform means that we're helping to drive their goal of that 50K. And, depending on whatever type of opportunities are there, the earliest potential opportunity would be someone for Verizon recognizing that we've integrated this into our platform and seeing if there's any support that they would give to us and our platform that's designed to drive people to this that they have created. Understanding, like, even maybe Cheryl might be able to communicate with those Verizon folks so we can potentially get an understanding of where they are in this 50K goal. They want to hit 50K by 2030. Okay, how many do you got? Where are you in the process? So yeah, so I digress. She just said Verizon, so I wanted to drop that out there as a potential follow-up. And that's it.
There you go. Pulling up the information. I like that. All right, so we have our marching orders, everything that are due out to what we need to get done. Should we all set up a follow-up meeting maybe 2 weeks from now? What are
I
you
think
guys thinking?
I think a follow-up meeting 2 weeks from now would be great, but I know before then that we'll have those draft offer agreements, of course, well before now and then, and we could
So
probably
do you guys want to do 1 week then?
I think that makes sense. And you can also, I would encourage everybody to exchange just high altitude little ideas of where they think they can provide value and what synergies that we may explore. It's always good to provide just little insights as they occur to you. I love doing that myself.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great recommendation.
And
Okay.
we'll send you we'll send you an offer and also some initial ideas that we've derived from this meeting as well.
Okay, that all sounds good. I think Cheryl might have lost service for the moment if I don't hear her coming in. But that sounds good. We can set the meeting for, I guess, is are Fridays good for you guys? What day of the week is good for you guys? Because you guys are both on West Coast.
I like Fridays. I mean, this was a good pocket, around your afternoon, you, you know, 9 o'clock our time in the
Yeah,
morning.
that works for me.
Okay, so Shane, since you did the Zoom, I guess you can extend that for next Friday, and then we can follow up once we've, exchanged the ideas and the paperwork.
Perfect. And this time I'll actually set it up as a calendar event.
Okay, that sounds good. I just did a chat for you guys. I'll do an email and a WhatsApp in a moment.
Fantastic. Really appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
Thank
the
you.
offer.
Absolutely. This was great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to everything. And I guess with that being said, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
Yes. Oh, and before we do, I'll just remind me maybe on Monday to follow up and connect you guys with Melvin,
Mr. White,
with
yes.
Mr. White.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I
Perfect.
think if he's set up the same way as Kevin is, and Kevin just does LA, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to do some expansion between some other states and cities, but again,
So
that
that might
expansion
be,
would have
yeah,
been partnering with other people. Exactly. Hmm.
that might be something that, he can get with Melvin and they can, because he's now, doing Atlanta. So, and I know they want to take it nationwide. So this might be a good time for you guys, like you said, to get in early
See
into the
the see
fold.
see see the strategy of that collaboration is is based on a collaborative expansion plan. So, for example, everything is based on ONET codes. An ONET
Mm-hmm.
code is basically a career or a specific skill set. So, you have to file paperwork, which includes standards of learning and on the job training for that particular skill set and industry sector. So, Kevin has been primarily in the digital media and entertainment sector. Right now, we're working on expanding into the AI and the tech sector, very similar to what you see on the Verizon Skills Forward that I was just sharing. That's why I integrated that as the
Mm.
supplemental training. So we're leveraging the free courses that are available through Verizon edX to fulfill the training part of the requirement for that particular skill set in ONET code. So the
Oh, that's
point is,
nice. Two for
yes,
one.
exactly.
And Shane, I think also the expansion of our plugin for the data analytics through his network, in addition to Kevin's, so that we can build in this sort of like, this direction of like the NSF and the Betos thing, that we can, you know, uh, deploy and expand the data analytics as a profit center with Melvin as well. I think it's huge potential.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely. It
And
puts
that's
more
part
meat
of
Yes.
on the bone.
Metrics Capital. So,
There you go. Yep.
Yes, no, this will be because they're in the technology space too. So this will be a great thing for Kevin, if he wanted to expand any of, their efforts out there. And vice versa, this is how Melvin can get into like California. I know, do you guys deal with Melvin Valentine out of Las Vegas at all?
Not
well,
directly.
we were, the thing about Melvin is that he's kind of like how would you say it? He needs to sort of be the emperor, and
Yes.
we have a more collaborative approach.
Yes. I understand. No worry. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, now that I know you guys are connected to Kevin, I think he was trying to get to, I don't know, I think he had questions about like Dakar and then like, the
I introduced
validity
Kevin to
of it.
Melvin, and I introduced Kevin Clark to Melvin Valentine, and
Uh-huh.
we were going to try to do an expansion of both of the people's things into Melvin Valentine into L.A. and
Right.
Kevin into
Las
Vegas.
Vegas. Mm-hmm.
But Melvin's well, honestly, he started circumventing everyone real fast, and it didn't develop too well. Are you working with him now?
Oh no, like just like you said, he has to be like the emperor.
Yeah, he
Like,
kind of
yeah.
took
Every
everything and didn't reciprocate.
Right. Yeah. I think they were more so out to get whatever they needed from said intermediary, and use it for their own benefit. When everybody else is, like you said, the collective approach where we all can eat.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We're into this idea that the more powerful people, the more we can compete with these big companies. And no matter how powerful a new emperor is, they're going to be a small fish in a big pond of predator fish. And,
Right.
and we got to have like a school, like, a school of fish to sort of like create enough presence that we can compete in what's becoming quickly an entirely global, nationally dominated economy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
We
we do
need to
have some
align now.
amazing, amazing allies that are on the periphery of coming in, like the top environmental educators connected with like the top environmental scientists in the world, and others who are like right on the periphery, but we're architecting how to empower them while they empower us. They're willing, they want to, and that's sort of what we're architecting as well, is how to enrich the others and then get the money flowing. And that's where Metrics Capital comes in, is that how do we get money to help the independents be financed? And we're convinced that it's through a network like NLGT, through like Metrics Capital, to be able to have something big enough that we can tap into the money and it can trickle down to the parts.
Yes, all that, like, it all of this is like great. It's amazing. I'm glad we were able to finally get online and get clarity and understanding. At least initial, understanding of what could potentially be, and some of the resources. I definitely want to connect you guys to Melvin White. And then I definitely want to see how I can align you guys for the space program that we just got approved at the university. Because I'm sure they're going to need some technology situations over there.
Right.
So, I just had my first board meeting with them on Wednesday. So now I have a little more clarity on the things that they need, and where our focuses, align. And so yeah, like
And if you
everything.
and if you share any of those needs, if you're able to, then we can start working up some draft proposals or some notes for you from our purview of what we might be able to offer of value to help those needs that they've conveyed to you.
Well, they haven't been approved yet, so I guess we're all like waiting for that because we changed our sector name as well. So the board is actually meeting now. The school board is actually meeting now just to vote on it, and then once that comes back, then I can start sharing. But I mean, I already, because of the information that I already have, I already know it could be a win-win. It's just a matter of approvals, and all of that, type top secret stuff. Because we're military operations and space intelligence. So it's a lot of like, high level people involved and, things of that nature. So sometimes I can't be connecting like, just on the whip because of
Oh
like
yeah,
some
no,
of
no,
the
no. That's
things.
why I said, if you're able,
But
because I know
definitely
those things.
once I get word that things are approved, then, of course, I mean, I already see the connection, then I can divulge. But for sure, Melvin White, I think that's a great opportunity after hearing more specifically about your tie to Kevin and all of that good stuff. So this will be good. I can tell Kevin, hey Kevin, we're gonna be partners.
Right. And now and I won't belabor this because I know we're about to end, but I want you to know that we also have some showmanship as it relates to NASA, meaning that,
Oh, really?
yeah, I've through,
Wait, tell me about that because it might be something I could, oh, you know what? I was supposed to have oh no, that meeting is tomorrow. I was about to say, oh my God, I missed my meeting with my board, my co-board member, but no, that's tomorrow. See, I have so much going on.
I
I
know
just
it's a
don't want
lot.
to.
It's a lot.
But
Yeah.
I
But
mean, it's great though. It's putting me in positions, that I would have not been had I not wanted to explore going into philanthropy more on the back end. I would have never been like where I'm at right now.
right.
With all this great information and all these connections, and yeah, it's like fabulous. I'm excited.
Yep. So I'm gonna go through this real quickly for you, okay? So
No
so
worries.
so another organization, this is another example. Just like
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Clark also worked with Bill Montgomery, and I think you probably met him too at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They call him CSI Bill, Common Sense Intelligence. Bill Montgomery, he's the cousin of Katherine Johnson, the NASA
Oh, shut
legend,
up, really?
the human computer, played by Taraji P. Henson on the Hollywood film Hidden Figures.
I know who
So,
she is.
oh yeah. So he's the first cousin of Katherine Johnson, and basically, she and he founded and created this organization called Hidden Pioneers. Now, Hidden
Oh, I
Pioneers,
love that.
yeah, Hidden Pioneers, like you said, rooted from Hidden Figures, but Hidden Pioneers is an organization that is highly underdeveloped. And so John and I have done a lot to help this brother because he's a cool dude. I love his ambition, but you know he needs to catch up in other areas. So we've been contributing to him as much as possible. He has some contacts, but again, underdeveloped, but a really great guy, a really great person who can interface with the community when we as administrators and corporate advisors structure everything at the top to get the resources, right? But the point is we have some showmanship. What I did was I practiced what I preached, and I saw what he was doing, and I told him you need to build it out as a course. And I helped him in the process to create that. And this is what we have as far as the NASA introduction course. And folks are able to, and this is the enrollment page for it. And just like Kevin Clark's situation, it's the same thing. You create your account, log in, and get access to the material. So I'm going to show you real quick at least what the course looks like so far. So just like I got the Verizon Skills Forward course that introduces people to Verizon Skills Forward, and we have the South Bay Workforce Investment Board Apprenticeship Orientation course, well, we have the NASA introduction course by the Hidden Pioneers. Now I'm just going to take you real quick and take a look at it. This is the editor, and every course is the same. You build it module by module. Each module has lessons in it. Welcome module has 2 lessons. NASA website has 2 lessons. NASA TV has 3 lessons, etc. Now we'll preview this as a participant, and this is what the LMS looks like, the Learning Management Software course. And again, this app, which is the BizSuite technology, is a web and mobile app, which means it's automatically and dynamically mobile responsive. This is what the platform looks like on a mobile phone when you're in the coursework. So bottom line to the whole thing is, in this NASA introduction course, the welcome module introduces the course and tells you to complete the lesson and move forward to the next lesson in this module, which introduces them to the Hidden Pioneers, talks about Katherine Johnson, talks about her cousin, Bill Montgomery. And now that you learned about them, it's time to move forward and learn more about NASA. Mark that as complete and move forward. You will have completed the first module, and now you go into the second module, which is the NASA website. And what we do is we introduce the participants to the NASA website and give them an assignment. And this is a general assignment. It could be drilled down to be even more specific and directive, right? But we have the NASA website linked. Follow the instructions, click on it, review the NASA website, and come back and mark this as complete and move forward to your next lesson, which has a feedback assignment. So now that you reviewed the website, you're going to fill out this form. Now we data collect all through this platform, whether it's through portal pages or whether it's inside of a course. We use our forms feature for data collection, and this forms feature and data collection process is how we work backwards to collect data points and full data sets that are going to be strategically used in our predictive analytic model and in all of our marketing efforts. For example, here's one of the questions. I'll just give you an example through this question. After they're done visiting that website, the first question we ask them is this your first time visiting the NASA website? Very simple answer, yes or no. I'm going to demonstrate the power of that as it relates to NASA and one of the things that they want on a lower scale. So they want people to visit their website. They put a lot of information on that website. They do a lot of research and development, so on and so forth. So if we had, let's just say 1,000 people do this course, we can not only tell them that 1,000 people visited your website because of us, we can further quantify how many of them was their first time. 900 out of the 1,000, it was their first time going to your website. We're effectively a great partner that's driving traffic and exposure to your website. And so what reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to have as much empirical data and showmanship to let NASA know that we're a good candidate to partner with for a Space Act agreement or anything else that they may have budgets for that could be allocated towards this effort of spreading the information and data collecting for their initiatives. And again, this is part of the workforce. So part of what I learned is that we're working on going to the moon again. That's one of the big initiatives from NASA. and that is going to require over 1.2 million people, okay, employees, to actually get there. And if we don't get them out of this U.S. market, where are we going to get them? From all the other countries, right? So this is another solution that's workforce related, and it's a pipeline to expose and potentially develop skilled workers and connect them to NASA. So one of the next modules that I need to add to this course is about internships. And there's a lot of information about NASA internships that people don't know. And when we add that module, it'll be the same as this. We'll introduce them to internships. We'll use some of the official NASA videos that already exist talking about internships. And then we're going to survey them and ask them, are you interested in an internship? If you're not, is any of your family, friends, kids, grandkids, neighbors, cousin, people them down there at the church? Is anybody else that you can recommend that you think would be interested or would benefit from a NASA internship, as they didn't know that they existed? So then that's where expanding the network and the growth cycles come into place. When people come through the course, we process them through and attract even more people, through referrals and recommendations. So I digress. I just, since you brought up the NASA thing, wanted to, again, I believe in show and tell. I don't like to just talk. I like to have something to show for it.
Yeah, I just texted the dean of the university to tell him all this information while you were explaining it to me. So I'll see what his feedback is if he's not like on a mission in DC trying to get grant funding and things of that nature. Um, but yeah, I see a lot of connection. I just text one of the other technicians that actually works at NASA that's on our board. Um, yeah, so I'll have to circle back with all the connections and the connecting dots. But Melvin White, I know you guys already know of him, so I'll definitely make sure I'll get you guys connected. I have a meeting with him and his COO tomorrow morning to go over some follow-up stuff from our meeting from 2 weeks ago. So I'll definitely make the mention to see when he can do a meeting and then get you guys connected, and then you guys could kind of take it from there. And then
Perfect.
that might be something that maybe Kevin can sit in on as well. That way they can kind of shoot the shits, if you will.
Hey, we're all for that. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm super excited. This is cool. Thank you guys for thinking of me and thinking highly of me that I could, be an asset to your fold and vice versa. Um, I always told you I was going to circle back. It's just a matter of, okay, I need to do it strategically and I need to do it little by little, like a couple
Yeah.
people at a time, and then I can build like the alliance from there.
Yeah.
So,
Completely
I'm
agree.
excited. I think I foresee a lot of synergy and good things on the horizon.
yes, absolutely. You guys still work with Lynn?
Oh yeah, Lynn Crandall. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. How is she doing?
She's doing great. She's been focused on many things, but there's this new garden that's a Zen garden, and they've been touring it, and she's been connecting a lot of people in the mental health space. So I thought about you, in the mental mania resource, because they're trying to build similar infrastructure where folks can go through an oasis and do some
Oh,
healing and things of
Yes.
that
that
sounds like
nature.
money from the that sounds like money from the Department of Agriculture. See, when you
It's a
start
wealthy
speaking certain
family.
keywords, like I start thinking, I think of Cheryl, because Cheryl will go pull that. How she says she have her computer in the car, she'll go pull it up right then and there. Like how I just text like the dean, like, look, and he texts me back, "Good afternoon, amazing, sounds good." So like
Lynn,
these
Lynn
are
always says that Shane and I are her two closest alliances and the ones that seem to produce the most results when she connects us.
yes. Well, that's the name of the game. I mean, you don't just connect and then sit on it. I mean,
Right.
how you going to generate anything from that? But yeah, I'll definitely like I said, I just had my first board meeting, so I just had, time to really wrap around like my position, what they're gonna need from me, how often we're gonna meet, things of that, like the foundation of it all.
Yep.
And then just kind of like the programs that they're gonna implement. Like we have a doctorate program for space intelligence, like it's really outside. So I'm very thoroughly like amazed that I just met the dean at the inaugural ball that I went to in January. And he just kept up with like all my efforts and then like offered me like not even offered, just really said, I want to appoint you like to like this advisory board. And I was like, wait, what?
He said it's done. It's already done.
Yeah, like it's just done. Like I like congratulations. Like I'll let you know when we have the first meeting. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm like a board member now. This is like kind of sexy.
That's tight.
This is kind of like cool. Hey, you guys have a board?
Right. Oh, I'm on it. Okay.
Like,
Let's
look,
go.
I want more board seats. This sounds kind of cool.
That's right. That's right. Pave the way.
But yeah, so I'll definitely make sure I get you guys connected. So we all have our marching orders. I'll be on standby for that paperwork, and then we'll start putting things into motion.
Excellent. Well,
Super.
looking forward
Thank
to it. Really appreciate it.
Yes, did you guys got the chat, right, with Cheryl's phone number?
Oh, let me check. I did not check back on chat. Um,
Well, worst case scenario, if you did
I
not,
don't
then
see
I
it.
will.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Now, are you saying on text message or in the Zoom chat?
No, 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 on text message on your cell phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
that group thread. The last thing that I got was John's number. That is John's number. Shane, please reply.
no, I don't see it either.
Oh, Cheryl was added to the conversation. I see that.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so we have her there.
After the pictures.
I see that. Okay, that's what happened. So now I can go into all who's there and see if
Yes.
Cheryl's there,
And
and she's already a contact in my phone. So I'm
oh,
gonna do
see,
this
you're slipping on your connecting, see?
and copy that. Yeah, I am, and send it to John directly to make it easy for him to have Cheryl's
Yeah,
contact.
that's what I was gonna do once we got off, to smooth all that out. But if you guys wanted to say anything or she needed to mention anything, you could do it right then and there. But I'll make sure you guys are all connected, and then let's set up for next Friday to follow up. And then as far as the operations or whatever position you were speaking to, I guess send me that as well, and then we'll just figure it all out.
We'll figure it all out. That's right. That's right. This is great.
Yes, yes. I'll have meeting times for Melvin and the university for when we meet next week.
Perfect. That works well.
All right, dears. Thank you so much again, and have a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend.
You're welcome. You too. And hey, we'll talk soon.
All right, dear. Bye bye.
Have a good one.
Bye
Bye.
bye.